Thank you so much for tuning in to Mom Jeans, trying to fit into motherhood.
Welcome back to Mom Jeans. We are your host. I'm Leah, an IVF boy mom.
I'm Danielle, a boy mom, a stay-at-home mom, and a military spouse.
And I'm Lisa, and I am a mom to 2 girls. Girl mom.
And this week, Danielle brings to us an article about a woman whose Instagram reel went viral, shared on multiple media outlets, and sparked a lot of backlash and controversy. So, Danielle, why don't you tell us what you got?
All right. So I saw this video. Well, I actually saw the New York Post article, which I'll reference here in a second. But her name is Madeline J. Monaghan, and if I said that name wrong, I'm so sorry. But she posted a video on Instagram, and it says, when the mom guilt sets in because you're going to Disneyland without your kids, and it's her like walking away, like crying, like saying bye to her son. And then she's at Disneyland dancing. It's like, but then you remember why you booked a trip without your kids. And then in her comments, or in her post, she said, "This is your sign to take a trip, mama. Have you ever gone on a solo vacay to Disney without your kids?" And it says, "Let me know in the chat below." And then she said, "I love taking family vacations to Disney, and I do 99% of the time, but every now and then it's so nice to let loose and be a kid without my kids." So that's what she said. And I guess it set the internet on fire. I guess it was a 50-50 between people were like, like, yes, I feel this, to other people mom shaming her. So I thought that was wild. So this article from the New York Post, so she's 30 and she's also a Disney Universal travel specialist. So I think this was her kind of like promoting her business. And yeah, so she posted this on social media, and it said she dealt with mom guilt when she left her children for Disney World without them. And then the article goes on, have you ever gone on a solo? Oh, I just read that. Sorry. So I even watched her like talking to this newscaster and just about all the hateful comments she got because of this. But she also got really awesome comments too. So let's see. I want to read you a few. This one said, sorry, "I genuinely cannot comprehend why I would want to go to Disney World without my kids. Trips without them for sure, but Disney," this is one wrote, and then "leaving kids at home to go get a Santa photo at the mall." I don't know what that means, but that's what somebody said. Oh, compared the equivalents to. And then this one says crazy. Another one said, "Imagine doing something like this without their kids." So it's just like a lot of negativity. But there were some people says it's good for moms to have a break, and it's good for kids to learn that they don't get to do everything fun with they hear about, not seeing the problem. I don't know. So there was a lot of comments like that, and I want to know what you guys think. Like, do you think this mom is wrong for going to Disney World alone or without her kids, or do you think like good for her?
I think this one's so interesting because it also sparked some like spin-offs, basically spin-offs of the reality TV show, because I was reading an article about a retiree couple who went to Disney World without their kids shortly after this. And so I feel like it kind of really, like you said, set the internet ablaze. Like people have very strong opinions on this. And I think it's so interesting because in my mind, like a mom went on vacation and did something that she enjoys. Like,
Absolutely.
like that's it. I don't care what you're doing. Like, and maybe I'm biased because I'm a huge Disney fan, and I would absolutely 100% go to Disneyland by myself. I've done it in the past. I would do it again. Not since I've had Wesson. I haven't gone without him, but I just think everybody's just so quick to judge and just to put their stamp on things. And I'm like, Mom went on vacation and did something she enjoys.
I'm laughing because I'm like, where's the catch? Like, what am I missing for this to be so controversial? Like, I don't understand.
I can tell you what it is that there's this thing called Disney adults, and people think Disney adults are weird, like full adults who really enjoy Disney. And it's like, I mean, I think
that's not weird.
I think if you were to search the hashtag Disney adults, you would find people who really enjoy Disney, and then you would find 50% split down the middle of people being like, Disney adults are weird, like grow up, get out of this fantasy land, like do all of this. So there's a lot of judgmental. Hey, I am probably considered a Disney adult. Like, I do run Disney. We go to Disney World or Disneyland every single year. Like, I'm wearing my Mickey Mouse sweatshirt right now. Like, but there's a lot of judgment towards people who like Disney in their adult years.
That's wild. I feel like a lot of them are probably 90s kids, though, because I love Disney. I don't know. But I've never been to Disney World, so Orlando or what's the other one? Where Harry Potter is, the studios, Universal Studios. I never got to go anywhere cool like that, but I would totally do it. I would totally go by myself.
Well, Danielle,
or like
if you want a
group
mom's
of girls
trip to Disneyland, let me know.
Yes.
Listen, I got it on lock. I will show you the best way to do it.
Perfect. I love that.
I have so many questions. Like, where does she live? How old are her kids? It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. But like if you live in Orlando and you went like, hey, you're right there. Like that. I don't know. Or if they went to Disneyland, if they're in Anaheim, whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Well, like
I don't.
She has. Oh, I thought it was. I'm sorry. I was trying to see how many kids she had.
No, so we're like people like that, Lisa, like one of the influencers that I follow that I really like, they've got an annual pass. If you live there, an annual pass pays for itself pretty quickly, right? And her girlfriends will go get dinner at Disney one night just because, right? So like they go all the time without their kids. They leave their kids at home and just go ride a couple rides, eat dinner, and come home. So I have
two points on this on a podcast that I listen to, and it is a comedy sports podcast. But the one guy, he said there's a difference between a trip and a vacation. You're taking a trip when you're with your kids. You're taking a vacation when your kids don't come with you. Mm-hmm. Those are completely different things that you're doing. Number two, he has a strong stance that he will not take his kids to Disney because his parents never took him to Disney, and he wants them to suffer the way he did. Because if he couldn't have nice things when he was a kid, they shouldn't have nice things when they were kids or something like that. But I laugh because he's brought it up like a bunch recently on their podcast, and I just die every time because I'm like, I can understand the vengefulness of people like that. But yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, I feel that way. Not that I don't want to take them because I didn't go. It's just like, I don't see the appeal because I guess I never went.
Yeah.
So it's not like anything drawing me there, except the Harry Potter Universal Studios in Florida. I might go there. I know that's not Disney, but they're right next to each other. So
I went when I was young. Like, I want to say I was like 5, maybe 6, but I don't remember it. Like, I remember seeing a picture where I got like a purple tie-dyed mini shirt that I loved so much. And I remember the shirt, but I don't remember my time there. And then I went back as an adult, I want to say 2 or 3 times, and I had a blast. One of them I was 21 for, and I went around Epcot and drinking in all the different countries. That was so much fun, and definitely not something I would do with kids.
We took a family reunion to Disney. Gosh, it had to be like 6 or 7 years ago at this point. But it was all adults. we had one kid with us, and he was 9 months old. And then outside of that, everybody was over drinking age. And we just went, like you said, Lisa, we went around Epcot, we drank, we ate, had a great time.
Yeah.
One day we went to Animal Kingdom the next. Like, And I did. I grew up going to Disney quite a bit. But yeah, I think I've had more fun as an adult than I did ever as a kid.
I'd like to meet these naysayers. Like, I want to hear their side, in the sense of like,
Right. I wonder if they're just jealous because they never got to go, or maybe they don't have the opportunity. I know. I don't know why people are trolls on the internet. She did say, "I'm a full person outside of being a mother, and I'm not obligated to take my children on vacation. Family trips exist for a reason." She also said, "It's my right to think it's very funny to leave your kids at home and go to kid places," she replied. But it's also her job. Like, she promotes trips to Disney.
But even outside of that, if it wasn't her job, like, I don't care if it's your job or not. Right. If that's how you want to spend your solo mom time, then who am I to tell you that that's wrong?
I feel like there's more to this story that I'm missing. I just feel like there's got to be more to this story that I'm missing, because this is outrageous to be this angry about that.
I think it's right. I think it's the Disney adults thing. I think it's that people think that Disney is intended for kids and for kids alone. And I think it's those two things, Lisa. I don't think you're missing anything. I think that's it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And it's
that's good. I mean, Brandon and I took our first trip together without Hannah when she was, I want to say she would have been about 14 months, so just over a year old. And like, initially when we left, I was like, oh man, I feel like so terrible. And then we got there and I was like, oh my gosh, I can get up. I don't have to worry about what food I'm going to make her. I don't have to worry about her crying. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like, it was, and Brandon and I like didn't know what to do with each other because we hadn't had that much time, just the two of us without her together. And I was like, this needs to be like absolutely once a year kind of thing, at least, and we'd gone even before then, that when I think Hannah was like, it was October. So she would have been like, 9-10 months. And I went to Hawaii and he went on a guy's trip without her. And I was like, I loved it. I mean, I was so happy, and I loved my daughter to death, but it's like, she doesn't need to be there for everything. Just like I'm not going to be there for everything she does. That's going to be fun. It's like, I don't know. I just, we could beat a dead horse on this one. I don't get it.
I mean, I legitimately think my first vacation without Wes is going to be to Disney, because I'm going to go do a race. And so that's just how it's going to shake out.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you happen to ride some rides.
Oh, so don't you worry. I will do the full park. I mean, listen, single rider lines are significantly better than not. So like, if you are going by yourself, you are maximizing your time. You're getting on everything you want to do at least once, maybe twice.
That's awesome.
The other thing is too, like, and this isn't what she did, it sounds like, but I mean, in my perspective, it's almost like I like to go and map things out and scout things out of like how it's all going to go, because I grew up with that social anxiety that if I've never been somewhere before, I get really freaked out and like, I don't want to go. I don't know how this is going to go. Like, Brandon's been with me before where I've just completely like, we were on our way to a snowshoe toured hike in Jackson, and it was blizzarding, and I was like, I just wanted to go so badly, but I also was really unsure of where we were going, and I was like freaking out the whole way. And he was like, you are completely taking the joy out of this for me. And I'm like, I'm sorry, like, I want to go scout things out. I want to go like feel my bearings. Like, I want to know what I'm doing before I go and do it. So like, I could see if I wanted to take my kids, like, like, okay, I want to go check it out first, and then I'll know where to go and what to do. I mean, the thing also about it is like, at this stage in the game, Hannah wouldn't have a clue about any of the Disney people. Like, she doesn't know who any of them are. So it's like, that's another reason why I'd be like, Disney's just a place. Like, it's, to me, like, I know what it is. I love Disney, right? Like, Brandon's like, oh, are we going to watch Encanto again for the 9 millionth time? I'm like, absolutely I am. I love that movie so much. But like, you know, like it means nothing to Hannah at this stage in the game.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a big deal if I went there without her.
Yeah. And she has taken her kids to Disney lots of times. She was promoting the Halloween thing. So this was just her.
So fun. I've been there for that.
Oh,
They
yeah.
do a good job.
I
It's
haven't. I went to some of my friends back at the East Coast, like if you live in the Carolinas, like Carowinds. That's like the biggest amusement park, or King's Dominion in Virginia park I've been to. So yeah, no Disney World. This person said Disney's not an adult vacation. It's for kids! ! And one of these emojis.
And they've
smacking.
clearly never gone to Disney and seen the quantity of alcohol that they serve, the incredible 5-star dining meals that they have, the thrill rides that certainly children should not be going on.
Should not go on,
like,
right?
And that's right. That's why I just think that comes across so judgmental, right? Like, there are so many things that are adult directed at Disney. I think Disney's done an excellent job. One, with subtle humor in their movies, like subtle adult humor, right? And then making the parks more bearable for adults who are there with like 4 kids under the age of 5, right? Like, let's give you some alcohol and let's give you some really good food.
Especially if you're at Disney World, where it's like humid, and I mean there might be a hurricane coming through, like
1 or 2 in a week. Sorry,
gosh.
too soon.
Yes,
Crazy.
No.
I want to find the. Did you send this to me, Leah, or did somebody send this to us about kids these days don't know what it's like growing up with Disney, where like one of the parents is dead and the other parents trying to kill their kid.
So our kids these days are learning emotional intelligence from Inside Out. We learned about Bambi's mom dying, Mufasa being killed by his brother, and something else. But yes.
Spoiler alert if you've never watched it.
But if you watched Lion King or Bambi,
what are you doing?
A little behind on the times.
I also don't think you can consider it a spoiler alert when it's 50 years old.
But no, I do remember that growing up as a kid, and that being like my thought whenever I would see a new Disney movie of like, what parent is going to die? Like,
which parent's not going to be there? Yeah,
that was always my expectation, which was terrible. But that's what we grew up with, right? And now these kids have like Inside Out 2, and like
Inside Out was incredible, and like, holy moly, to me, like I was like, what a way to explain that. I, as a 35-year-old adult, couldn't have explained that better than they did. That was awesome.
I use the gift really of anger getting mad all the time.
Yes.
I'm like, that is no, so it is good, right? Like, they've really done an excellent job in educating and making it more approachable, because I watched Bambi once as a kid. I don't know. I was like 4 or 5, and I was like, I'm never watching this again. And I don't think I've ever seen it again. But I remember, maybe it has something to do with also my mom's best friend's husband being a deer hunter. And I walked in their kitchen one day, and there was a deer hanging in the kitchen.
Oh, no.
So maybe the two combined was a little traumatizing. But still, like,
man, I remember I remember the first time I cried in a movie, and it wasn't a Disney. I don't think it's Disney, but it was A League of Their Own. And I was like, why would you cry in a movie? And then it was like one Disney movie after another. And I was like, I'm crying in all of these movies, and I'm never going to watch these again. And why do I have to get a period? Because this sucks. This makes me so emotional.
The first movie I cried in was A Walk to Remember.
Oh, jeez. That was the saddest movie ever.
Oh,
A Walk to Remember was horrible.
But it's
great, but horrible.
Good.
I
think it's one of those, like, timeless, will never age. But oh my gosh, when you were 15, 16 years old watching it with like 17-year-old Mandy Moore, it was like,
yeah.
It was so sad. Danielle, have you
it's
seen
like that? I was talking to somebody.
Yeah, I have. But I was sitting here trying to think the movie that made me cry. Like, the first one I can remember, but the only one that's coming to mind is Marley and Me. But I feel like I was older then.
I never watched that because I knew it was going to make me cry. It's like Susan asked me the other day, she's like, "Oh, do you watch This Is Us or have you?" And I was like, "No, I have
oh my God.
no
I
desire to watch shows that I know are going to make me cry. I have no desire to do that.
I am the
I
opposite.
will
will
not
take
do
you down
that.
that rabbit hole. You have to watch it. It's so good. And I cry every time.
I love to
every-
watch things that make me cry. I love it.
I don't.
Yeah, it's a good cleanser.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
what I
Just
feel.
Cleanse all that juju out, or that bad juju.
Yeah,
I
totally
no
feel
idea.
like it's like, and I am selective when I do it. But I feel like, yeah, okay, I'm ready to get a good cry out. Like, let's watch watch this.
I cry enough without movies and shows. I don't need any help with that.
It's a different type of cry.
Yes, you're right. It totally is. I mean, I think it goes to show like the age of parenting that we're into, like that we referenced this, I think, in the last episode of like the mom who was telling her mom, like, no, you can't say, be careful.
Yeah.
Okay, so you thought Marley and Me. Can you think of it like Titanic or The Notebook, Walk to Remember? I'm trying to think of like other iconic
I remember
movies
The Notebook made me sad. I don't know if it ever made me cry.
Oh, The Notebook at the end makes you cry.
You know what?
Yeah, I feel like if I watched it now, like I cry more than I did when I was a teenager, I guess. No, I mean, I cried a lot as a teenager, but not movies weren't making me cry. Just like
yeah,
my hormones were making me cry. And they still do, so that hasn't changed. But no, but yeah, I just remember that. But now I cry a lot. Yeah, when I watch shows, I really cry. I'll look over and Ryan sometimes is misty, and I'm like, "Oh, I got you." So I love that.
So Lisa, you love Encanto, and I'll be completely honest, I haven't seen it yet.
See it.
No.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh no.
What is going on?
Okay, so I'll jump over to you then, Danielle. Do you have a recent Disney movie like in the last 5 years that you really like?
How old is Moana?
It's more than 5 years, but I'll give you Moana. Like
okay,
I consider that recent.
What's the movie where he goes? It's like he goes to the afterlife.
Coco?
Yeah, I like that one.
That is such a sad movie.
Yeah.
That is so sad. I love the music in it, but it is so sad.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing a new attraction at Disney for Coco, so at Disney World. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
So you'll have to.
It's the music's so good.
I haven't seen that one either.
I love the voices. It's sad.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I can't. Encanto is just like, it's so good.
I'll say this. So we listen to Disney hits in the morning while we eat breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And
nice.
Encanto's music is really good. And then the music,
that's what I love about it.
The music that I also really like from another movie that I haven't seen is Wish.
I don't know what that one is.
Oh my gosh, the songs in that one are so good. I have absolutely Encanto, I have a general idea of what the movie's about. I have absolutely zero idea what the storyline is for Wish, but the music is phenomenal.
That's good to know.
So.
I need to switch over to that station. Hannah likes the Coco Melon station, and I just I'm over it. I need to move on to another kid station. Where I'm about to go on a 7-hour road trip with just the two of them and me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Like, how do I entertain her? Aubrey will sleep a lot more, but Hannah will not.
What was I gonna say?
We're gonna break it up into 2 days, so it shouldn't be two. We're gonna go 2 hours and then 5 hours. So
you're gonna stop in Phoenix?
We'll see. We're gonna stop in Phoenix.
Nice.
Yeah,
good. That's the way to do it.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm sure it'll be worth it once we get there. We just got to get there.
Yeah.
Well, going back to the topic of trips without your kids, has anyone? So my last trip that I took without Weston was I went to Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, And yes, I did feel mom guilt. So I was just wondering, like, where have you been? Have you felt mom guilt? But then how do you get over it? I did feel mom guilt, but like, it was just so nice to be able to, like you were saying, Lisa, just to wake up and to
Worry
not
about
stress
yourself.
Yeah. However, Weston was homesick. And so I did have to like coach Ryan, not really coach him. He's like, what do I need to give him and stuff. But then also I got sick. So it's like the last few vacations I've went on, I've done something by myself. It's like, we're both not feeling well and we're like apart. And so it makes it hard. So I'm hoping when I go to Phoenix in a couple weeks again by myself that we'll both be healthy. So prayers for that.
Okay. So before we move on, you said you had to coach Ryan. And Steven sent me this really funny reel today. And it was like, so dads are like the backup quarterback in the NFL. You're on the team, but you're not the star. Hold on, I'm watching it live. And on the rare occasion you're brought into the game, people around you are nervous. I thought that was so funny, especially because you said you had to coach Ryan. Because I'm like, yeah, Steven says, like, if I die, he's going to use the life insurance money to pay for someone to feed Wesson. So he'll have a lump sum to pay for Wesson's personal chef.
I mean, I'll say, Leah, like, and Danielle, you too. I know, like, we all make food a lot. Like, I didn't grow up with having my mom or my parents make us breakfast every day. And I make the girls breakfast every single day. And maybe that'll change as they get older and like activities get different. But I really enjoy it. And I really enjoy our breakfast time in the morning of us all together, sitting at the table together and all of that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, like I know Brandon can do it, but it's just the desire isn't as much. And like I was just reading a book about whatever, some smut, but the guy was like, yeah, like their immediate caregiver always made breakfast for them every morning. And I stopped doing that because I just realized my sanity was worth it. Like props to everybody who does it. Cause that's a hard thing to do. And I think, it's nice when you go on vacation and you're like, all right, I don't need to.
I can't for the life of me.
Sorry.
Remember what I ate for breakfast as a kid. Like I feel like I didn't have breakfast. Okay. The life of me remember what I had for breakfast as a kid. Like
I had a lot of Pop-Tarts.
I definitely ate a lot of Pop-Tarts because it really made my grandma mad. She was like, you're feeding your daughter cardboard. She would always give my mom crap about it. But like I
had Fruit Loops, Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, all the sugary cereals you could think of. And then sometimes I would put sugar on top of it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
How I don't have diabetes, I don't know.
But like I don't ever remember the act of eating breakfast. Like I know I probably ate, but like did we sit? I don't recall. I don't know if we sat down.
We didn't. We were never together. No. I remember watching music videos and eating my breakfast in front of the TV.
We ate a ton of
McDonald's. We did on Saturdays and Sundays.
For the afternoons because my mom was shuffling us between gymnastics, theater, cheer, baseball, basketball. So like it was like McDonald's drive-thru. We always had all of the Monopoly pieces and all of the Beanie Babies that McDonald's had to offer. But yeah, no, I don't think my family, I mean, my dad never cooked. My mom would make meals on special occasions. So birthday, Thanksgiving, Christmas. And then outside of that, I don't think we really ever had, I don't have memories of family meals if we had them.
I feel the same way. I said that to my mom. She got really offended. And my brother's like, we didn't. What are you talking about? Like, we remember being at Chili's and Olive Garden on the very special occasions. We would go to Olive Garden, but we would go to Chili's like once a week at least. And it was like, my mom's like, that's so embarrassing. You tell people that. I'm like, but that's what it was. I mean, that's what we did. We lived on that queso that's terrible for you, but so good. Yeah, it's so interesting to think of how different parenting is now compared to then. Like, I would be interested to see how my mom would have survived this era of parenting, because I think the way that my mom is, social media would have eaten her alive. Like the guilt without social media just eats her alive still to this day. And I can only imagine, you know, what she would feel if it was like it is now. I don't know.
Man, well, we always had breakfast like Saturday, Sunday, either pancakes, banana pancakes, biscuit gravy, eggs, all the things. But during the week, my parents worked, so it was like cereal or stuff. And then we really did have a lot of dinners. Did we have lots of Hamburger Helper? Yes. But sometimes my mom would make like her staples. So it took me a while to like eat these things again. What was it? Meatloaf. We had a lot of meatloaf. She'd make salmon cakes, spaghetti. Those were kind of and then some Hamburger Helper. Those are kind of the main ones I remember. So it's like, I don't eat a lot of meatloaf. And also I don't eat a lot of pancakes because we ate a lot of pancakes growing up, and sometimes for breakfast or for dinner too.
Oh yeah, breakfast for dinner is the best.
Yeah, that's my favorite meal.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
so, just a little different, but
for like mornings, I'm more savory. So then by the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, I'll have pancakes for dinner. That sounds great.
If I start my day with syrup, I'm like done all day. My stomach is just killing me. I need to have something in there to like soak it all in, and then I'll be fine. So I agree. I have to have it after I've had something else first. But we really got off topic, didn't we?
But we did. But kind of to your last topic or to your last statement, Lisa, and maybe we can circle it all back and wrap up here. But you know, you said that there's the mom guilt, right? And so that's what we kicked off this episode with, of the mom guilt of her going to Disney by herself. So is there anywhere that you for sure wouldn't go without your kids?
My parents' house. I waited to tell you that answer this whole episode. My parents' house or my in-laws in Hawaii?
Great answer,
Danielle. I don't think that we can beat that. That's pretty good.
Well, sorry. I think Danielle means it in a different way than I would mean it. You're saying it out of a pure heart that you wouldn't rob your parents of that experience of having him. Whereas
no,
I'm saying,
no, she's not.
Is that how you took it? Yes, that's exactly what I meant, Lisa. Thank you. Yes.
You see Danielle's halo right there? See my halo bright and shiny? Mess with me, I'll kick your hiney.
Yeah, I would never do that to them. Yeah, like, here's your grandchild. No. And then they don't see me for a few days.
Yeah.
You'd be like,
well, in that case.
Oh.
What were you going to say, Leah?
No, it's like I've seen all of those, again, TikToks and reels of people just showing up and ringing the doorbell and leaving their kids on the grandparents' doorstep and running away.
Yes.
You wanted grandkids. Here you go.
I read a book to Hannah often, and it's called How to Babysit a Grandma. And it's really cute, and it's very much like trying to get them to like want to go spend the night with grandma while the parents go away. And I read it to her all the time. So that I'm like, don't you want to have a sleepover with grandma? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, you do. We're doing that next weekend. And I'm like, I'm really looking forward to that too. That'll be good.
So Lisa, is there anywhere you wouldn't go without your kids?
I don't think so. What about you?
I don't think so. I think like it legitimately just comes down to like spend your individual quality time however you want to spend it.
Yeah. I don't.
And don't feel the mom guilt. Like we need that. We need that just minute to like fill ourselves, like just a quiet moment. I don't even care like if it's in a hotel room and I can read a book and have a glass of wine like by myself. But of course, like I miss my son. And when I went to the beach a couple weeks ago, like I was looking at all the families. I'm like, man, this would have been fun to like experience with Weston. Now that he's a little older, we could be building sandcastles. And then also I thought, I'm like, man, they haven't sat down this whole time because they're chasing this toddler around. So it's like, it is what it is. And of course, like, I feel like when I get home, I feel that appreciation for my son, like, so much more. And like, I want to like give him a hug, and I miss him and spend all the time with him. So it's kind of nice. I mean, we need breaks as moms.
I do wonder if it has a little bit to do with the fact, like you guys said, like if you don't have family that can watch your kid, like you have to wait until the kids are older to leave them with friends, you know, or you find a very expensive babysitter who's willing to take them for a weekend or a week. That's hard, you know. By yourself, I mean different, because they hopefully have another parent that can help, but that's the only thing. Like, I'm like, maybe that's the catch. Maybe it's just jealousy that these people can't take that trip. I don't know. So, all right, I'm gonna let it go.
Let it go.
I can't.
Let it go.
Yes, I was gonna say I can't sing because I like am a little bit sick, but I can't sing when I'm not sick. So let's be honest here.
I never said I could sing. I just did it.
I know. I sing all the time to Hannah, and Hannah goes, "Mommy, stop singing." I'm like, "No, I'm never gonna stop singing. I like to have fun."
I sang the Itsy Bitsy Spider song to Weston today, and he clapped after.
Aww.
Like, yay! And I can't sing either, so I was like, thank you.
Yes.
All right, I guess I need to go try out for American Idol now.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's kind of fun. Like, Hannah will do that to the most like mundane task. Brandon will like put a dish in the dishwasher, and she'll go, "Yay, Daddy! I'm so proud of you, Daddy." And it's like we just start dying. We're like, "Oh, it's very cute."
That's great.
Yes. Okay.
All right, y'all.
Till next week.
That's a wrap.
And that wraps up another episode of Mom Jeans, trying to fit into motherhood. Thank you again so much for listening to us. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please consider giving us 5 stars so other mothers out there like you can find us and listen. If you would like, you could follow us on any of our socials at Mom Jeans, the podcast. If you have questions, would like to send us your birth story, or give us suggestions or things that you would like to hear, please email us at hello@momjeansthepodcast.com. See you next week.